The names of people who work on a movie can give you a sense of whether a movie is worth watching. When it comes to anime, Studio Ghibli is one studio that almost everyone associates with quality, which is why Mary and the Witch's Flower is such an odd movie. It has the animation consistency of a Studio Ghibli film, but the storytelling prowess of some of A1's less than stellar works. Yoshiaki Nishimura was a lead film producer at Studio Ghibli, but he left to create his own studio, Studio Ponoc. He gained the support of many Ghibli employees, hoping to keep the magic that Ghibli once had alive and continue their legacy. One of the individuals who jumped ship was the director Hiromasa Yonebayashi. His notable works for Ghibli include The Secret World of Arrietty and When Marnie Was There, one of my personal favorites. However, he'd been with the studio since 1997, doing in-betweens on Princess Mononoke and slowly moving up the ranks, holding almost every position at the studio at one point or another, at least when it comes to visuals. I wanted to give this background to help explain just how confusing all this is concerning Mary and the Witch's Flower. As I said earlier, the animation felt like a Ghibli movie. By this, I mean it's very smooth and consistent, but it also just looks like a Ghibli movie. And I don't really think that's a good thing. Now, let me explain. The character designs feel like fan art, which is a good thing, because it doesn't feel like a carbon copy, but it also isn't different enough to make me think the studio is confident enough in their movie to really step away from Ghibli just yet. And the color design reflects this as well. From the shading to the palette, the movie just looks like a Ghibli movie. But that could be argued as being a good thing, because Ghibli has always had amazing color design, and learning from your elders is something Studio Ponoc could use in a positive way. The story is what really frustrates me most about Mary and the Witch's Flower. Not only is it one of the most predictable stories I've seen in a long time, it also forced things on the characters and created rules that the movie didn't stick to. For starters, let's take Peter. When Mary first meets him, he teases her a little bit, and she doesn't seem to like him all that much. He gets kidnapped by the people from the college, and his place in the story becomes to motivate Mary to return to the college. But outside of a small sense of guilt, there's no reason why she would. However, she does, and when she finds him, they treat each other like old friends. It could be because he was saved from the college, but they've only known each other for maybe 2 days. It might be more accurate to say that they knew about each other. These two end up becoming the two main characters of the story. Now, our story starts with a different red-haired witch, escaping from what appears to be a castle with some sort of seeds. Why the villains weren't able to find extremely magical seeds dropped in a forest is beyond me. Maybe they just can't detect magic. There's then a jump to the future, which shows Mary waking up, and the color of her hair gives away the fact that either she is the witch, or is directly related to the witch from the beginning. Well, in a big twist that shocked everyone watching, Mary's great aunt was that red-haired witch we saw in the beginning. The movie tells us this when Mary finds her old house and talks with her great aunt through a mirror. This is where Mary's great aunt tells her that she only has enough magic to get back home, and if she doesn't come home right then, she'll never be able to return. She hands Mary a fly-by-night, a flower that holds magic, most likely for Mary to use to get home. Of course, being the hero of the story, Mary chooses to save Peter, who sacrificed himself to let Mary escape earlier. Now comes the big contradiction in the story. Mary is able to get back home with Peter and 2 cats, without using the fly-by-night. Anime magic comes back to save the day with the power of friendship. I do know this story was based on a book, so this could very well be the fault of the original rather than the screenwriters. However, when adapting, there's always the option to change things. Whether that could bring praise or grievance from the viewers is dependent on the skill of the adaptation and how much of a purist the viewer is. To me, this felt like an adaptation that was begun by Miyazaki, but then he realized it wouldn't really work and threw it out, and then it was picked up from the cutting room floor. It isn't all negative though. It showed Hiromasa Yonebayashi's skill at directing, possibly even more than his other works. Not once during this movie did I feel as though it was being drug out. The pacing was fantastic, and it felt much shorter than its 1 hour, 45-minute runtime. The visuals were also able to keep me entertained with the complexity of the animation and the way the characters and environments moved across the screen. Mary and the Witch's Flower gives me hope for the future of Studio Ponoc. They were able to create something that, at the end of the day, I wouldn't recommend watching for its content. However, if the studio is able to create its own style and find a story truly worth telling, they definitely have the talent to do so. At the end of the day, even if I'm not able to recommend watching this movie, I highly recommend watching this studio and seeing where they go, because this movie has made me believe in their name. Studio Ghibli's time has almost run its course, but it truly is the beginning of a new day. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button down below. It helps me out a lot. And comment any thoughts you had, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've been the Seaweed Ambassador, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.